Welcome to another edition of Blades Q&A presented by Bud Light. Mike Kelly alongside Adam Winslow in the Everblades front office. And today we're joined by Everblades defenseman Ben Masella, back for his third season with the Blades. What's it like to get re-signed by the team, Ben?
It's exciting. We came so close the last 2 years, and it feels like we definitely have something cooking down there in Southwest Florida. And, a lot of the core group of guys coming back, and I can speak for everybody when I say we're all itching to get back on the ice.
Yeah, some unfinished business for sure. This past season, you won the ECHL Plus Performer of the Year award with a plus 40 rating. Congratulations. Very impressive.
Thank you.
What does that award mean to you?
It's definitely cool. It's cool to accept that award. I think that award in particular is a reflection on the entire team. When it comes to plus minus, you can't really get that award unless you have a successful team, and it's really all five guys on the ice at the same time, including the goalie. So, that's a kudos to the whole group of guys. But for me personally, that's definitely a reward that I liked. I pride myself to play a solid defensive game at all times, and to be able to accept something like that's pretty cool.
Well, we were talking before we started recording on camera, but you were born and raised in Montreal. That's correct?
That is correct. Yep.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, I was playing AAA hockey up in Montreal when I was a kid. Beautiful place, great part of Canada.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I was actually there when the Boston Bruins swept in the playoffs 4-0 the Montreal Canadiens, and it was a pretty quiet place, with the exception of the old American guys in the rink.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
We heard a lot of different language, with the French Canadian accent, but we don't hear that from you. What's that all about?
I think I had a pretty interesting and unique perspective on that. I grew up speaking English in my household. My parents spoke French, and I went to a primarily English school growing up. But then it comes a point when you start playing hockey, and then you start playing on the same team as kids who speak primarily French. It's interesting. You get to go home and you speak English, and then when you go in the locker room, you're speaking French the majority of the time. So, that was definitely pretty unique. And then it comes a point where you start speaking French in school as well. So, first language is definitely English, but I grew up around French, and some of my closest friends' first language is French as well.
Very cool.
As a youth hockey player, who did you look up to?
Youth player looking up to. I always liked Nicholas Lidstrom. He was a real role model growing up. I kind of started coming into my own as a hockey player when he was in the prime of his career, and they was winning Stanley Cups with Detroit. So as a defenseman, he was always somebody that was solid. He was a leader. He played the game the right way. He was definitely a role model for a lot of young defensemen. So I'd say Nicholas Lidstrom.
Here's a good one: walk-up songs. I spent most of my career in hockey, but I spent a little bit time in baseball. Let me tell you how walk-up songs, how important they really are to minor league and major league baseball players. What would yours be? Why?
You're putting me on the spot with that one. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty unique. I like a variety of music. I don't have a particular kind that I like more than others. I like Creed, the band Creed. I would say I would definitely go with something for Creed that's pretty tough song, tough band to come out to. They got a couple of good ones, but I'd definitely say something rock, like particularly Creed for sure.
If a movie was made on your life, what would the movie be called, and who would play you?
You know what? That's a tough one to answer. I think, being from Montreal and having traveled a lot growing up, and, being in Southwest Florida now, I'd definitely say something. The name in the movie would have to be something like The Traveler or something like that, not to get too into detail or whatever, but I think that'd be appropriate. As far as actors go, I have tons of actors I like, but a good old Canadian guy that I would have to say for me, hopefully I'd be honored, would be somebody like Ryan Reynolds. Not because I look like him or anything like that, but he's had some pretty serious roles, and he's known to play some pretty serious characters in movies, but he's also got that light and funny side to him. So I can definitely relate to him on that. Plus he's, from everything I've seen, he's a first class person, and that's somebody that I try to be. So I would definitely, if I had to say somebody, I would be honored to be played by Ryan Reynolds.
All right, I think this is a setup question, but we'll see how this goes. If you want a good home-cooked meal, which teammate's place are you going to, and what's on the menu?
Good home cooked meal. It's funny you ask because we got a good amount of guys that are really good cooks, and then there's other guys that are just brutal. That would be absolutely no fun to go to. I don't know. I think I've seen Cody Sewell cook a meat steak before, and I like steak once in a while. So I'll pump his tires on this one. I'd say I go to Solar's for a nice steak with a little bit of mashed potatoes. Maybe it sounds nice.
No chicken marsala?
No chicken marsala. That gets old. You got to switch it up. You got to switch up the diet once in a while.
Well, it's a longer off season than usual. What are you most looking forward to this season, Ben?
You know what? Just getting back on the ice, being with the guys. Definitely miss the camaraderie in the locker room. And like I said earlier, we have a really good thing going. And again, I'll speak for most people when I say that, when you get hockey taken away from you like this, you learn to appreciate those little moments and those little experiences a bit more. And I think I'm definitely missing those aspects of hockey particularly. So I think just getting down there and, seeing the guys again and getting right back to where we left off and, getting to work.
Well, we can't wait to see you get back onto the ice. Thanks so much for taking the time here today to join us.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. That's Edward Blades defenseman Ben Masella, and alongside Adam Winslow, I'm Mike Kelly. Thanks for joining us for another Blades Q&A presented by Bud Light.